Hello, everybody. This is your main man Keith here from Keith Plays PS4 927. Happy Friday afternoon to all my awesome viewers on this awesome channel. We are in game 2 of the Western Conference first round for our 2000-2001 Los Angeles Lakers Road to the NBA Final Series. And we are currently leading the series 1-0 over the 97-98 Utah Jazz. So we had won last episode 112 to I think 64, 65, something like that. And Kobe Bryant, he had 68 points. Shaquille O'Neal, 25 points for the 2000-2001 Los Angeles Lakers. And I can't wait to win 4 games and advance on to the next round and the round after that, and possibly the NBA Finals. So, evidently, we're going to play, well, my prediction is going to be the 2000-2001 Philadelphia 76ers as our opponent, just to make it the 21st anniversary of the rematch of the 2001 NBA Finals. So, without further ado, we'll show you the uniforms, so we'll see you into tip-off. Alright, so the 97-98 Utah Jazz are going to be wearing their classic 1996 through 2004 uniforms on the road at the Staples Center. Meanwhile, for the LA Lakers, they're going to be wearing their classic home yellow uniforms at home in the Staples Center for a second straight episode. Next episode, we're going to be in Utah, so the Lakers are going to be wearing purple and the Utah Jazz will be wearing white. So without further ado, we'll see into tip-off. Alright, it is tip-off time, so the Utah Jazz win it. So win the tip-off, so now Jeff Hornacek has possession. He is actually going to get this in the paint for 2 points. So it's now going to be a 2-0 Utah lead. So now we got Shaquille O'Neal on the court for the Lakers. And Shaq is going to make that layup, and it's now going to be tied up 2-2 even. So now Stockton's going to pass it over to Hornacek. And now it appears that Jeff Hornacek is going to lose the basketball. And it is Horace Grant going to pass it over to Kobe Bryant. And Bryant makes that nice layup. So Horace Grant is going to pick up that assist. So now Jeff Hornacek is going to pass it over to John Stockton. So Stockton losing the basketball. And it is Derek Fisher. We're going to try to make a 3. He actually makes this one in. So it's now going to be 7-2 Los Angeles. Alright, so now Rick Fox is going to pass it over to Kobe Bryant. And then Derek Fisher goes out of bounds. The Lakers have possession still, but I don't know what our game plan is going to be. So I'm going to pass it over to Shaquille O'Neal. The LSU product gets this one in for 2. So it's now 9-5. And it's now Jeff Hornacek losing the basketball. And it is Kobe Bryant picking up that steal. Going to pass it over to Shaquille O'Neal. Makes that nice dunk. And it's now 11-5 here in Los Angeles. So now Stockton has possession. Going to pass it over to Jeff Hornacek. So now Jeff Hornacek is going to go in the paint for 2 points. So now it's going to be 11-7. So now Kobe Bryant with the possession of the basketball. He is going to knock this from 3. And it's now going to be 14-7. So now Stockton going to pass it over to Hornacek. And Hornacek has possession of the basketball. He's going to make this one in for 2. So it's now 14-9. And both teams are doing really well in field goals today. Shaq O'Neal getting this one in. Rick Fox with the assist. So it's now John Stockton losing the basketball. Shaquille O'Neal making that steal. And he's going to go in the paint there. So it's now 18-9. So 10 points for Shaquille O'Neal today, and 4 of which are from mid-range. So I'm giving this guy a 5-star rating so far. And now it is Shaquille O'Neal going to get that layup in there. So it's now 20-9. The Jazz are taking a timeout. All right, so it's now 26-11, and there are 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. So now there is a decent block out of that one. So the 97-98 Jazz have possession of it. So it looks like that there is going to be 6.7 seconds to go in the first quarter. And then we're going to pass it off to Malone. And there's 2.5 seconds. I'm going to pass it to the deep side of the court. And now Shaquille O'Neal gets it in there. So it's now 28-13. And this concludes the first quarter here in LA. So we are up by 15 points. Alright, so it's now 4 minutes, and this is the beginning of the second quarter here in Los Angeles. So now Shaquille O'Neal making that nice spin move, gets it in there. So it's now a 17-point Lakers lead. So now they're going to pass it over to Karl Malone. Gets it in there, so it's now 30-15. So we're leading this by halfway. Heating up in this episode, Malone has 6 points. I'm going to pass this all around, and Shaquille O'Neal gets it in. So it's now 32-15 evidently. So now we have possession. So Shaq O'Neal tries to attempt a steal, but the ball hit the yellow paint, so it's going to be an out of bounds call. And we are going to play some strategic defense once at it. So now Shannon Anderson, he is going to go in the paint there for 2. So now Devian George going to pass it over. We hit it out of bounds, and that is an incompletion there. So this means that the Jazz do have possession of the basketball. And now it looks like they're going to pass it over to Karl Malone. Gets that layup in there. And we are going to take a timeout and a short break. Alright, so it's now 36-21. Thinking about passing that off to Kobe Bryant. And then Derek Fisher, he is going to do a crossover in the paint. Gets it in there, so it's now 38-21. Derek Fisher with 7 points already, and now this is John Stockton with the possession of the basketball. Where is John Stockton going to take this to? He's actually going to pass it over to Greg Ostertag. So now John Stockton, he was really well known for assists along the line. That's why he has the most career assists out of anybody in NBA history, with 15,806 to be exact. So now John Stockton with the possession of the basketball. He's going to pass it over to Byron Russell. And now Horace Grant makes that steal. Going to pass it over to Robert Horry. And Robert Horry makes it in there. So it's now 42-23. So now John Stockton with the possession of the basketball. So there's almost less than a minute to go in this first half, and now John Stockton, he is actually going to get that in for 2 points. So it's now 42-25. So now I got Kobe Bryant going to make that dunk happen for the Lakers, and it's now going to be 44-25. So now John Stockton with the possession, and it looks like Stockton, he's going to go in the paint and makes that layup happen. So now Kobe with that possession of the basketball. I'm going to think about passing it over to Derek Fisher. And Derek Fisher gets this one from 3. And it's now 47-27. Alright, so now Brian Shaw going to pass it over to Shaquille O'Neal. So Shaquille O'Neal, he is actually going to drill this from 3. So it's now 50-27. And this is rare to see Shaq O'Neal hit 3s. And he's only hit 3s when he played with Orlando back in his early NBA career. And now we are up by 21 points at the moment. And now Shaquille O'Neal, he's going to get this in before the buzzer beater hits 0. So now the halftime score is The 2000-2001 LA Lakers 52, the 97-98 Utah Jazz 29. All right, so it's now 52-29 here in LA. So now Shaquille O'Neal, there is a block on Greg Ostertag. He was going to attempt a layup and hopefully have a dunk there. So evidently the release was very late there, so he does not make it in. And now he is 0 for 4 in free throws, so not a good start for him. And Karl Malone gets it in there, so it's now 52-31. We're going to pass it over to Shaquille O'Neal. So Shaquille O'Neal gets this one in, so it's now 54-31. And now it is John Stockton with the possession of the basketball. Shaquille O'Neal making that steal, and he makes that layup in there. So it's now 56-31. Scoring leader Shaquille O'Neal with 33 and Karl Malone with 10. So Shaq had 29 points in the first half alone. So now Shaquille O'Neal making that dunk. So it's now 58-31. The Lakers, they want to score at least 100 points before the game ends. And now Shaquille O'Neal, he's been making more steals and making more dunks along the line. So he could wind up being player of the game. So he has 37 points today, 8 from mid-range. So he has not, well, he has only made 1 3. So now Byron Russell making it in from mid-range, so it's now 60-33. So now I'm going to pass this over to Shaquille O'Neal. So we're going to go in the paint and make that layup. He drives it in. So it's now 62-33. 39 points for O'Neal today. And Byron Russell with that 3. It's now 62-36. So now Shaquille O'Neal, he is going baseline and gets it in. Karl Malone with a shooting foul. So it appears that Shaquille O'Neal is going to go to the free throw line. He makes it in for his first free throw. So he is 1 for 5 from the free throw line. So that's 20%. So that's not the greatest achievement that we've had so far in the first round of this playoffs. That's our biggest mistake. And Shaquille O'Neal making that rebound and making that block. He is at least 7'1". Anything could happen with a guy who is 7 foot on the team. And he was 100% in field goals in the first half. And I had mentioned he had 29 points in all. So it looks like Utah is going to pass it over to Morris, and then Karl Malone gets it in there. So it's now 67-38. So now Shaquille O'Neal making that layup happen. So it's 46 points while the rest of the team has 23. And he has picked up that basketball. So now it is Derek Fisher who makes the steal. We're going to pass over to Robert Horry and then Rick Fox, and then Shaquille O'Neal gets it in there. So it's now 71-38. So they are crushing this Utah Jazz basketball team. So the Lakers, they are looking red hot with Shaquille O'Neal today and Karl Malone making that dunk happen. And they're going to pass it to the other side of the court. And now O'Neal gets it in. Malone has got to stop making fouls. That's the reason why they are losing. So now Brian Shaw will probably make that 3 since Shaquille O'Neal made that offensive rebound happen. Shaq will pick up the assist. So now he's going to pass it over to Morris. So he makes that in for 3. 35 seconds to go exact. So we're going to pass it over to Shaquille O'Neal. Gets it in. 30.5 seconds to go. 78-42. And there is a foul there. It's on Shaq O'Neal, the first reach-in foul. And they are still on offense, Utah. So we got to play some LA defense along the lines here. And Shannon Anderson's going to pass it over. And it looks like he's going to go try to make that in there. I don't think he will, and he does. So now I'm going to pass it over to Devian George, and then Derek Fisher going to make this 3 from behind the arc. So actually a 2, which isn't too bad. I mean, we are up by 36 points. So we'll see you guys in the fourth quarter. 80-44, end of third quarter. All right, in your State Farm assist of the game is coming right up. So they pass this deep over to Shaquille O'Neal, and Shaq got that in, but it was Karl Malone that ended up getting that foul. So now it looks like Utah has possession of the basketball for the fourth quarter. So they won the tip-off. So we had possession for quarters 2 and 3. And he gets it in there. 46-80. We're going to pass it over to Brian Shaw. And then Foster makes that dunk happen. So it's now 82-46. And now Shannon Anderson with the possession of the basketball. Will he actually make this in for 3, or will he pass it over to Antoine Carr? And he gets that in for 2 points. So we're going to pass it all around. And now it is Derek Fisher, who won the championship with the Lakers back in 09 and 10 with Kobe Bryant. So now John Stockton and Derek Fisher have very similar stats. They have not missed a single field goal in today's episode. But Fisher only had 14 in today's episode. So now Shaw is going to pass it over to Mark Madsen, and then we're going to pass it around like the hot potato game. We're going to get that in there for 2 points, so we are going to take a short break. Alright, so it's now 88-52. We got some Kobe Bryant on the court. He's going to knock down a 3 from behind the arc, so it's now 91-52. And the Lakers are up by 39, almost 40 points. And now Robert Horry has a reach-in foul. So 1:49 to go in the fourth quarter. And the Lakers are on top of it. They want to end up going 2-0 in the first round playoffs. And there's a foul there. It's on Kobe Bryant. It's a shooting foul, so the Utah Jazz are going to go to the free-throw line. They will miss that first one, but will they get it in for the second one is the real question. 42 points in the paint, 40 from mid-range. So Shaquille O'Neal with possession of the basketball. He is actually going to make that in the paint, so it's now 93-53. And there are 90 seconds to be exact. So it looks like that Utah has possession. There's a block there, and it looks like the 3 will count, and it will. So now I'm going to pass it deep to the other side of the court, courtesy of Kobe Bryant. So now Shaquille O'Neal gets it in, so it's now 95-56. So the 97-98 Utah Jazz, their bench is outscoring the Lakers bench by 9. Robert Horry making that steal, and he's going to pass it over to Shaquille O'Neal. And Shaquille O'Neal makes a dunk. So we are just 3 points away, or 1-3, or 1 attempt made from behind the arc from getting 100 points. Byron Russell making that 3 happen. So now I'm going to pass it over to Tyronn Lue, who is now the coach for the Clippers, and it goes out of bounds 47.3 seconds to go in this game. So we are just 3 points away from scoring 100, and now The Jazz want to try to make their first win happen, but I don't think it's going to be possible. With 37 seconds to go, we're going to pass it over to Shaq, and there is a 2-point layup, so it's now 99-61, and it's now 27 seconds to go. They're going to get this one in, and we're going to take our final timeout. All right, Shaquille O'Neal is your player of the game. All right, now 21 point some seconds to go. Kobe with that three. He makes it in, so it's now 102-63. And I am going to explain the numbers in just a few seconds. There are 14 seconds to go. And it is Ron Harper going to pass it over to Shaquille O'Neal. So now Shaquille O'Neal gets it in. It's now 104-63. And we are going to take the win at home for a second night in a row. And the Lakers have won it. So it's now 104-63. The Lakers now lead the series 2-0. All right, Shaquille O'Neal, 62 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 steals, 2 blocks, 4 dunks on the day for him. He is your player of the game. I was wrong if I said 1 for 5 from the 3 throws. I was wrong. I meant to say 1/4. I lost track there, so I apologize for that. Kobe Bryant, 15 points, 4 assists on the day. He did have a dunk there. Derek Fisher, 14 points, 3 assists, 2 steals on the day. Brian Shaw, he had 3 points and 2 assists on the day. Horace Grant, 2 points, 3 assists, 2 steals on the day. And Karl Malone, he had 14 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 dunks on the day. Byron Russell had 10 points, 2 assists on the day, and no dunks. John Stockton winded up with 9 points. He did wind up with a 3-pointer, and he had 3 assists in all. So this wraps it up. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys in Game 3.